So, Mark, did you see that Magic Mike Live? They had to cancel performances this week because of positive COVID tests. Now's your opportunity to get in there, get yourself a slot. I'm sure they're holding auditions to replace those members.
I've been working on my crunches. I got it going. Yeah, I missed the tryouts. What was it, like last year or something when the,
Uh-huh.
the show was coming out? But all the ladies are going to be sad that the show's canceled for a bit for sure. But maybe it opens up opportunity for somebody else. If you're out there and you always want to be a dancer, here you go.
All right, and just after we recorded our show last week, our new show, Mark, the Palms finally the San Manuel completed the approval process to get the gaming license, and they're able to take control of Palms. We learned that they're going to keep the same name, the same logo, and some of the places are going to come back: Green Street Kitchen, Mabel's Barbecue, Scotch 80 Prime, a few restaurants like Bobby Flay's restaurant not coming back. We still don't know about others like Tim Ho Wan, so we'll still have more to learn. But Palms opening spring 2022, and the name's going to stay the same, logo's going to stay the same. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's almost like they learned from another iconic property that tried to change everything for the worse.
Cough,
So
cough
that's kind of
version.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't want to mess up, Palms. It was always a beloved casino hotel, but even when it launched the real world stuff and everything, and it had a lot of vibe, and a lot of young people would go out there. So if that's what they're going for, why not keep it? It's already paid for. All that naming, branding, recognition. Why get rid of it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The other thing we learned is that it will have a William Hill sportsbook run by Caesars Entertainment, which I don't know, it's not a huge deal, but we still have a lot to learn about what it'll look like, whether the buffet is going to come back, all of that. But it is official that San Manuel owns Palms, and they're approved, and they're moving towards hiring and getting ready to open in the spring. As of now, hotel rooms are not available. You can still book Palms Place, but they haven't opened up bookings yet. But they said that will happen fairly soon, so you'll be able to book up and stay there. I'm hoping to do that.
It does seem crazy, like how long this has been going on, that they made the purchase. They're not really doing a whole lot to it. It's not like they're doing a whole rehab thing. So you would think it'd be like a quicker rollout, but it just shows how long things take when it's big moving parts.
Yeah, they want to put their own mark on it. But as you said, Station Casinos, Red Rock Resorts spent hundreds of millions of dollars just redoing Palms just before it closed. So it's a really nice property. They expanded it. Every part of the casino had been touched. A lot of the hotel, of course, they had built that Chaos nightclub, which basically dragged down the whole thing with all the expenses for the DJs and everything else. So we always wonder how that's happening at Resorts World where they're doing the same thing. But yeah, it's good to see this open. We have lots of closed casino videos on the channel if you want to take a look at what Palms looks like right now. All closed up, but those boards are coming down soon. Really excited for that, and we'll keep you guys updated as it goes along. Now, they did announce also this week, Mark, the New Year's Eve show for Las Vegas is coming back. And we kind of knew that, but they announced the theme. It's going to be Deuces Wild. And just like in past years, there will be 8 properties on the strip launching fireworks: the Strat, Resorts World, Treasure Island, Venetian, Caesars Palace, Aria, Planet Hollywood, and MGM Grand. So Vegas coming back for New Year's Eve fireworks. Maybe a sign that hopefully better times around the corner. It's nice.
No,
2020
probably not.
was so anticlimactic. So
Well, wasn't it was it New Year's Eve in 2020 to 2021 that there was still like mobs of people on the street, even though nothing was really going on all that much? Like I remember we talked about it, and just like a huge cluster of people. So I think it's going to be even more of a cluster now. And we just had on the Miles to Memory site, we just had a post I think yesterday that showed a lot of New Year's Eve celebrations have been shuttered or closed down in Europe and stuff. So it's interesting to see that in America or in Vegas and in particular cities, some people are still going forward with it while others are shutting it down because of the new variant and everything. So it would be crazy to see. I'm sure it will be big.
yeah, and it's nice that they're doing the full spread, the 8 casinos. And I always think the Caesars Palace, and I haven't been down on the strip in a while to watch the fireworks on New Year's Eve, but Caesars Palace, I think, is probably the best place to be. It's center strip, so you get to see a lot of the different properties. Plus, they launch from Caesars Palace in that area out front, like the Spanish Steps, all that. A really nice area to watch. So that's where I would recommend going. Of course, I don't think I'll be down there braving all the crowds this New Year's Eve. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. That might be
Yeah,
fun. I haven't done it since I was younger.
I've always made jokes about how there's so much wasted space out there in front of Caesars, like from the street to the casino. But this is the type of thing that it actually comes in handy. So definitely, it would be a good spot. You're not going to be too crammed compared to other places where you don't have a lot of room to stand around outside, or you're out in the street. So I think that's a good recommendation if you are heading down there.
All right, let's pivot here. Coffee shops. I've talked about the Pink Pony Cafe
We're
here.
talking about
And
Amsterdam or what?
no, not those types of coffee shops. Although those types of coffee shops probably coming to Vegas soon. All those marijuana lounges, as they're licensing those, and those will probably be coming, I think, next year to Vegas. But no, traditional Vegas style coffee shops. Every casino used to have one. The 24-hour coffee shop with the greasy spoon type food. It's just classic Vegas, kind of coming here when I was younger, and I think just throughout the history of it. And one entrepreneur here is giving almost $1 million for somebody who comes up with the best vintage Vegas coffee shop idea. And he's going to give them space in the Hunted Shopping Center over off Maryland Parkway in Charleston in downtown Las Vegas. They're going to get a full, 3,000 square foot place for their restaurant, new signage, everything else, worth almost $1 million to bring the classic Vegas coffee shop experience back. I'm all on board with this. I really love the old school Vegas coffee shops, and unfortunately, corporate Vegas sort of got rid of them.
We should just go take pictures of Peppermill and then submit it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Peppermill is one of the last. I mean, certainly Peppermill.
I know, just build another one.
Of that ilk. Yeah.
Now, is coffee shop like a West Coast thing? Because around here we'd call that like a diner, comfort food, 24 hours diner. When I saw coffee shop, I was thinking, and he even says in the article, this isn't a Starbucks. We're not talking about like a Starbucks. We're talking about like comfort food, 24 hours, dinner, lunch, all that stuff. And I was like, well, that's a diner, man. Calling it a coffee shop's throwing me off.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're right. They do use the word diner so many places. Here it was always coffee shop, so I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, basically the same thing. Like I said, greasy spoon, all of that sort of stuff. But open 24 hours. You can get anything, anytime. Those sorts of places. The other thing I loved about those old school coffee shops is the service was always terrible. The waitresses were always, chain smoking, older women who were just mean to you, and it was great.
Did you ever?
It was so great.
Did you ever go to one of those Ed DeBevick's? There was one in Chicago we went to that was like a diner where they treat you back, kind of like Dick's Last Resort type of thing. So they played
like
off of that
theme, right? Or 50s or 60s theme. Yep. Yeah. We grew up in LA. They had one back in the day. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, those are cool. But that's one of the big negatives about Vegas right now is there's not a lot of, and normally there would be a lot more 24-hour places, even if it's not an old school coffee shop, but there's just not that late night options right now. And if they are, it's a long wait, or you need reservations and stuff. So that's kind of what's missing from the experience. So I think the more they can add of these, the better. And if you look at Peppermill, how popular it is and how well it's done, if it's anywhere to that quality, they'll knock it out of the park for sure.
Yeah, I mean, somebody needs to come up with a great concept. They're given $1 million, so if you're ever going to get a chance to get your concept off the ground, this is it. So yeah, we'll follow up on that. Hopefully, we get a really cool venue built out with this contest. Speaking of cool venues, Allegiant Stadium is here, right? And last week I talked about my Luxor ticket package, and were they going to screw me out of something on it? Was it too good to be true? Well, this week my tickets came, Mark, and my package very clearly says I have my room plus 200 level Allegiant Stadium tickets, 200 level on the 200 level. And my tickets came and they gave me the worst nosebleed seats in the 400 level that you could possibly get. So
400, no. What is that? The parking lot? Are you out in the parking lot watching? You're like at Wrigley Field where you're on the building across from the Wrigley Field looking down into the stadium. That's kind of what you got.
So I still trying to decide what to do here. I've tried to reach out to them again. Do I want to call and go through that whole process? Or, I mean, the tickets are still, worth what I paid for the room. More than that, I couldn't buy those tickets for as cheap as I'm paying for the room. So the package is still good, although they didn't deliver on it. And, there's some other things I have. I could probably dispute it with the credit card and get a partial refund, things like that. But hopefully Allegiant and the Raiders do the right thing. But I will absolutely say, and I'll be writing about this on the site, people should absolutely avoid Allegiant Vacations. Terrible, terrible company as far as the way they communicate and apparently the way that they feel they can, I don't know, be dishonest in the packages that they're selling. no need to book through that company. Book through direct sources or more legitimate sources with customer service and everything else. Not that I expected Allegiant to have great customer service. I chased a deal. It's not working out as well as anticipated, but just trying to share all that with you guys. It's not the end of the world here, not the end of the world at all. But I haven't decided if I'm going to use the tickets. Hopefully, we can resolve this and I can get the tickets I want, so I can go to the game and do it. But we'll see how that goes.
You got to walk around the stadium anyway. Yeah, you got.
Yeah, he's been making fun of me all week about it.
Yeah, I'd still go and walk around the stadium, even if you don't go to the seats. Just to check it out. It's part of the deal. It does, blow that they screwed you, and it's right there in the term, like it's black and white, 200 level. So I don't know why they would think that, hey, we'll just throw 400 and see what happens. But that's the shady games these companies play sometimes. And, I doubt that you'll get it fixed. I don't even know if it's worth the effort at this point. How much do you want to chase down that rabbit hole? So just go and walk around. Don't buy any expensive food while you're there and stick it to them that way, I guess.
Yeah, just to starve to death and, no thirst, but I'm not spending $1 here. Yeah, no, I'll figure it out.
Throw all the sheets on the floor in the room. Do it all.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know. Do I need to take the room? Should I just, and avoid paying the resort fee?
Go take all the soap and shampoo you can get your hands on. Make it back.
Yeah, well, they'll do that. Now, I did want to, before we move on to the next thing, which is these A's stadium renders, which I think are just absolutely insane. I did want to remind everybody that we have a podcast. We have the Vegas podcast, which you can search MTM Vegas in any podcast app. It's basically the same as this show, but we also have our Miles Points Travel podcast every single week. They can find that at mtmpodcast.com. That's the Miles to Memories podcast. We do the show along with Joe Chung, and I know a lot of people out there, we don't plug it too often on this show, so just wanted to let people know if they're looking for more content, talking about, travel rewards, all of that good stuff. Check out the Miles to Memories podcast, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. Leave a comment on anything we talk about. Smash the thumbs up button. And Mark, these renders of the A's stadium. Now, first off, I don't believe that the A's are going to buy the Tropicana. That was a rumor that came out, but I don't understand how Bally's just bought Tropicana, and then they're gonna sell it now to the A's, or how the A's are going to get enough money to be able to afford that and make that economic sense. But let's just say that the A's really want to build a stadium on the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard, demolish the Tropicana Hotel. These artist renderings of what this could possibly look like, people on Twitter seem to like it. I think it's the most ugly thing I've ever seen in my life. We do not need that on the Las Vegas Strip. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not the the best looking thing. And I go around to stadiums and, I personally think that they're just doing this to stay in Oakland to get a better deal or whatever. So I think that's what will happen. But, if they were going to put it on that area, it'd be kind of cool to be able to walk to and everything. But I can't even imagine how much of a cluster it would be. It would be really horrible for traffic. I mean, traffic's already bad right there, and just getting around and then the views of it, yeah, not the best. So hopefully that was just somebody was bored at midnight and drew that up and threw it out there, and it's not like a legit thing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's I think it's fan art, but who knows?
Okay, good.
Where it all came from. But it is an ugly thing. I still can't believe people think it looks good. But let us know what you guys think on it. All right, a couple other stories real quick. Aria, and I guess MGM Resorts in general, is coming out with this new policy for dealers and how they deal with mistakes on the tables. How often have you encountered a dealer, making a mistake on a payout or something else?
Pretty much like every session, at least one or two happens. They either forget to take money, or they pay out on a push, or they pay out incorrectly. It happens. They're doing hundreds of hands at a time. And in craps, it's even worse because it's just chaos. I don't know why they don't have like a little calculator built into the side of the table for craps. But yeah, so it happens, all the time. If I was to guess, I would guess a dealer makes 3 to 4 mistakes a day at least.
Wow. Well, at MGM, they're not going to have a job for very long, apparently. So every time they make a mistake, there's going to be a half point that they're going to earn. And then once they do 3 points, they'll get a note to their file, 6 points, a verbal warning, 9 points, which would be 18 mistakes, I guess, a written warning, 12 points, last and final. And then I guess at 15 points, you get fired. I guess this is a lot stricter. Doesn't seem like it's all that good. Or is this just a push by the company? They want more of these electronic table games, get rid of the dealers. This is a way to make it a little bit more difficult for people.
I do wonder, like, how often are they catching these mistakes? Like, if they accidentally pay me a push, I'll say, hey, and some people will, some people won't. I'll say, hey, that was a push. Take it back. Unless the dealer's a jerk, then I'll just let it ride. But if they're if they're nice, and they've been fun or whatever, 9 out of 10 times I'll say, that was a push, and if they take that back, is that considered a mistake to them? Is the eye in the sky reviewing like every single hand, or is it just when they need to call the pit boss over to correct something? Like, is that type of, the thing that we're dealing with? So that's what will be interesting to see how that plays out. Like, how in depth are they going on this stuff? And then my guess would be it's in the writing so that they can get rid of people that they want to get rid of if it's a union type of shop, and they have these bad actors that this is an easy way to get rid of, and maybe they don't enforce it all the time for everybody. I don't know. I just don't see how anybody could work under that circumstances if it's every single mistake counts. There's gonna be nobody left.
Yeah, it's tough, and it seemed like there's a lot of people upset about it. Let us know, like in the comments, if you're a dealer, what you think about this. How does this compare to the way it was before? How do they sort of track your mistakes and things like that? I'm really interested in learning more on the procedural side of that. All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, Eater had a great article, the saddest restaurant closures in Vegas of 2021, and they interviewed a lot of local food bloggers and things like that. And which one on the list? I noticed Rayo's came up a lot. Now, every time I ever looked at reviews of Rayo's, they were very, very negative. The one in New York City is very famous and popular. Heck, I even at home, I use Rayo's spaghetti sauce, which is delicious and great.
Prego better.
No, what? Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, you're trying to trigger me here. But anyway, Rayo's closed. A lot of people sad that Rayo's closed in Caesar's Palace because it really is old school. It's been there forever. Some other ones. Which one stood out the most to you?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, Rayo's, because it's been there so long, and it's right by, it's kind of built into the facade, and it's right by the buffet. And I never ate there because like I looked at the reviews and it was always very blah. And then, our friend Bethany Walsh from Bougie Miles, who's from New York City, said, it doesn't compare anything when you compare it to New York, it's nothing in the same realm. So I never really I wanted to go in there, but then those always kept me away. So maybe that's what played a role into this. But what's the name of the one in Wynn that looks absolutely stunning? I don't want to try to slander it.
Costa de Mare or Costa de Mar. I mean, yeah, this has to be the most beautiful restaurant ever built, certainly in Las Vegas, out there by the water. And yeah, one of the better seafood restaurants I've heard in town before it closed. So that was a big, sad one, although a very, very expensive restaurant.
Yeah, we should give out a shout out to Mesa Grill, which is Bethany Walsh's favorite from Bougie Miles. I know she was sad to see that one go, but he had time for a refresh, I guess, type of thing. So that one's more understandable. But definitely the weirdest one was Resorts World. Would it close after 4 months? Like, what happens there?
Yeah, Marigold at Resorts World, which was that, we talk about coffee shop, right? It's not their coffee shop. It was like lobster roll kind of place I really love the decor. I remember on opening day walking through there and that being one of my favorite sort of venues within Resorts World because of the sort of throwback architecture. And, they have like those bricks and things. I'll show some video here of what it looked like. But yeah, it only lasted a few months and it closed, the first sort of casualty at Resorts World on the restaurant scene. With as many restaurants as they have, I expect that we'll probably see others close and other venues turn over. But it was a unique venue. The menu looked really cool. But yeah, it's done. Marigold gone. A lot of people said Rose Rabbit Lie was a big loss for them, but we got Superifico or something to replace it. Yeah, people are gonna be.
I'll give you a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stuff there. So we'll put a link in the description. John Curtis, who is a longtime food reviewer at eatinglv.com, he put out his awards for best restaurants. He eats something like 400 restaurants a year here in Vegas. Just a longtime food reviewer. He also put out his best and worst lists of the year. It's a really good read, a long read. So I'll put that in the description as well for you guys. So lots of inspiration there if you're looking for restaurants for future trips. Everything from tacos to fancy food to everything in between. Highly recommend visiting that. And other than that, Mark, Merry Christmas. It's been a fun year. We'll be back, I guess, next week for one more show here. And today I'm going to go to the Bellagio, take Ellie there to go check out the conservatory and do some Vegas Christmas stuff. And I hope you and the family have a great holiday.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and the family, and to everybody out there watching. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year. Hopefully 2022 is better than 2021. It's not looking like it's going to start off so great, but you never know how it's going to finish. So it's been fun. We'll have one more show before the new year, so I'm jumping the gun there a bit, I guess. Are you going to that outdoor light up area at all? The like outdoor gardens this year?
Not going to do that, but I may go to Sam's Town today, which has the atrium with the light show for the holidays, which we didn't do last year. I don't think we're going to do SLM, although it's not far from our house. But I think they require reservations that we don't have right now. So, but yeah, we're going to do some Christmas stuff today. Didn't get out to do it nearly as much this year of the holiday stuff, but looking forward to it. And again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll talk to you next time. Have
See you
fun.
next week.
Bye.